Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. I've been basically locked in China here for the last 5 months, but my visa is only good for 120 days before I have to leave. So what they did is they gave us an extra 60 days. You don't even have to go apply for it, but by the time we're done there, hello, I get this all the time. See?
Yeah, 你好.
Yeah.
你问好.
So the idea is, before that 60-day time period is over, we either have to leave China and go where? Canada? Well, Canada's basically got the COVID everywhere now, and I don't think it'd be safe. You can get run over here. You know, sometimes I cruise around and I look for the outskirt areas of Nanning City, and I'm way out there. If you look around, we are basically in rural China, right on the outskirts of a 7.5 million person city, and it's beautiful, it's clean. The people here are very curious, and they you know, they come and they take video of me doing video or pictures and stuff like that, and it's I like that. But back to the main topic, getting locked in China. Okay, so before the 60 days is over, which takes me to 6 months in China, I have to go get a resident permit, or I have to leave the country. If I leave the country and go someplace else, who's going to take me? You got her. Nobody. Nobody's going to take Gweilo and Weifang, and if they do, place maybe Hong Kong. But then you've got 14-day quarantine in Hong Kong. Then you come back, you got 14-day quarantine in China. That's a month in quarantine, guys. I don't want to do that. So I'm basically locked in China. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to go apply for a resident permit. Probably a 5-year resident permit. And what does that entail? Well, you fill out your documentation. You've got to prove that you've got long-term residency here in China. You have to prove you have a reason to get a resident permit, which with us is taking care of Weifang's father. He's a little loopy in the mind. He's old. He can't walk very good. We think he just had a stroke here about 2 weeks ago, because he slowed down really fast in like 1 day, where the shuffles were sort of, and then a couple times in the bathroom where I had to go in and pick him up off the floor because he'd fallen down, and you know, all of this stuff. So as I say, we're basically locked in China. We've got responsibilities here. Who would take care of Weifang's dad if we weren't here? So back to the resident permit. Okay, so you get your documents, you prove that you have long-term resident, like our home, we own our own home here, and you have to have a reason, a family member that needs you, and leaving an elder family member alone is a no-no here in China. So that is a reason why we can go and apply for, they say 5-year, but I think that we'll probably get a 3-year resident permit. The last one we were on was a 2-year resident permit, but we were in Canada at that time when it ran out because Weifang got sick, and you can only get resident permits from within the borders of China. So we go and we got to have a medical, because if you're in China for 6 months or more on a permit, a visa, well, you're not really going to get a visa that gives you more than 6 months, even if it's a 10-year visa. And the reason for that is then you would have to get an actual medical type thing. So with the resident permits, they do extend it to a year. We could get a resident permit for a year, but and not take a medical, but why only go for a year when you can go for a 3 or a 5-year resident permit? They're basically the same cost. You go through your medical costs, an extra 300 or 400 RMB, and I think for about 1,350 RMB each, which would be less than 300 bucks, we can resident permit up. We're good for 3 to 5 years, and then we don't have to go anywhere. So if the COVID-19 doesn't get its ass kicked in the West, we don't have to go back there and take the risk of getting sick, because in China there's basically nothing. You know, there's the odd pocket here and there, always somebody coming into the country. And, you know, the haters out there are going to hate and say the communist government doesn't allow COVID-19 in their country. It's you know, it's like haters will hate it. If you walk on water, they'll say it's because you can't swim. But and I get a lot of that. And I've been getting a lot of hate and bullshit here lately. And being a retired guy, I don't need that. So I'm on a big campaign to sort of clean up my shit and just live my life in a nice way. You know, in China, doing what I like to do, traveling. And that's another thing, man. We haven't been able to do any traveling for about 5 months outside the country. Usually, when we're in China, we'll be in China for 3-4 months. Then we'll bugger off to Japan or to Cambodia or to Thailand or to Singapore, or to Malaysia, or to you name it. We had Laos, we had Vietnam, and Indonesia on our list of places that we wanted to go this year. Well, that's not going to happen, you know. So getting locked in China is we get to travel a lot around China, and we have been doing a lot of traveling if you've been watching our videos. But you know, the idea that getting locked in China and not being able to take these little excursions, you know, to just refresh yourself, it's a little difficult, and we're noticing it now because we've been here over 5 months, and it's time to go on a vacation, guys. But you know, it could be worse. I get a lot of comments from subscribers and viewers on my channel, and I hear, I've been locked down for 5 months in Florida, we've been locked down in California, we've been locked down in Texas, London, England, Sydney, Australia, Victoria, you know, places around the world. People are, you know, they've been locked in their homes, and here it's not so bad. You can get out and about. You can, you know, we're into restaurants, and we're into, you know, traveling around China, and it's basically open for business as it always has been. Sure, they had a hiccup there for what, 3-4 months at the beginning of the year, but knowing the Chinese people, they just took care of it and moved on. They're industrious that way. So I would rather be locked in China than I think anywhere else in the world. Maybe a South Pacific island on a beach for 6 months. Oh boy, boring as hell, eh? Eating, I was going to say turtle soup, but that's a Chinese thing, and the rest of the world don't like that. So let's not say turtle soup. Let's say fish soup. But you know, it could be worse. We could be looking at an epidemic here like they have in the United States or Brazil, or, you know, they're talking India now, and they're talking, you know, South America, and oh my God. And everybody's always asking me, okay, Gweilo, when is this all going to be over? When is the borders of China going to open up? When are you going to be able to travel? When are we going to be able to come to China? Like, I know Alex from Reportify Media, he's been wanting to come back for months and months and months now, and borders have been closed. I don't know. You know, I would have thought that the rest of the world would have taken it seriously enough to do what China did, but they haven't. It seems like it's a nonchalant type thing that, and you know, you got, I don't know, 160,000 dead and over 5 million sick in the United States, or have been sick. There's a lot of them that have been cured or beat it type thing. You know, Canada has had more sick than China, and China's 1.4 billion people. Canada's only 30-some million. They just don't take it seriously enough. So until they do, the borders are going to be closed. I noticed that some European countries and Scandinavian countries have been given the go-ahead to start issuing visas to China. But I would imagine those are the ones that have everything under control. I'm sure that there'll be a quarantine period, and it won't be open for all visitors and such. Probably the business people, the people that are filling job vacancies, English teachers, stuff like that, will be able to come into the country. But if you're just coming to see the Great Wall of China, or if you're coming to I don't know, hit the beaches of Beihai, I really doubt that they'll issue you a visa or anything. The only reason that we're in here is we came back before they shut the borders down, and we were lucky to know people that sort of knew what was going on and gave us a heads up, I think about a week before they shut the borders, so we knew when to come back and or not to come back if we decided that we didn't want to be in China during this time period. But we figured getting locked in China would be better than getting locked anywhere else in the rest of the world. And when somebody like Justin Trudeau, our little potato in Canada, says, "Oh, Canadians, all you Canadians come home," you know something's wrong. So you whatever his decision is, you pick the opposite, and chances are you're making the right decision. And yeah, you know how I feel about him. Anyway, that's sort of a nice background video from Gweilo 60 on the outskirts of Nanning City in Guangxi Province, China, on I think August the 17th, 2020. Well, I dated myself. It could be 18th, it could be 16th. I have no idea. That's one of the good things about being retired is you really. I think it's Tuesday. Like seriously, we don't. It's just one of those things. I did get a comment here yesterday. Somebody inquiring about how's Mimi doing, our cat. Mimi's great, and that's another reason why we're still here, is because the old boy can't take care of himself, and Mimi, we don't want to give Mimi away. We want to make sure that this time when we have to leave, if we have to leave, the cat's neutered. It's got all of its shots. It has its documentation, so we can take it on an airplane with us and take it to wherever we go. Her, not it. Her, wherever we go. And you know, how does she spend her day? She hangs out with us. She's the watchdog. If there's a cockroach on the floor, that cockroach is dead. When you walk out of a room, she's hiding behind a corner to attack your leg. She's a happy, healthy, well-adjusted little cat. Anyway, that's another video from Gweilo 60. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. Thanks for watching. Hit the bell. And don't forget to put a couple bucks on the children's Patreon account. It's for a good cause. Poor rural Chinese children, they just need a helping hand, and we can help them. Help me help them. Thanks for watching. Bye now. Every time I see these trucks on the road, I think of Star Trek, and I'm thinking, is that where they got the idea for the photon torpedo? Hey? It's actually a truck here in mainland China. I don't know whether they spell it the same. Photon is photon as far as I'm concerned. Chinese never did spell things properly as far as their signs go anyway. But hey, this one's for you, Miranda. The photon torpedo trucks. Oh, and they do call them torpedo on the side. No, I'm kidding.